Students, I hope all of you are doing good. Yes, good morning, Sri Varsha, Venu Kumar. Good morning, beta. Am I audible to all of you? Yes, good morning, Vani. Yes, good morning, beta. Yes, tell me, am I audible to all of you? Yes, good morning, Deepak. Good morning, Triveni. Yes, good morning, Charita. Yes, audible. Okay, fine. Great. Great, beta. So it's time already. It's 11:15. So let us start our class. Just a second. So did you revise notes? All of you, please. Did you revise the notes? Because the things which we have discussed were little bit volatile. Okay. You require a revision once or twice, and you need to solve the questions regarding that. If you have revised, then I can provide some DPP, some questions based on that. Yes, yes, beta. Good morning. Good morning, Yashwant, Surendra. Good morning, beta. Good to see you all. So did you revise the notes? Raise your hand. Just raise your hand if you have revised the notes. Yes, Karthik, Surendra, Yavani. Yes. What about others? I am waiting. Only 3 students till now have responded. Yeah. Good morning, Sai Tarun. So only 3 students have revised the notes, beta. What others are doing? Yes, Deepak also has revised. What about others? Good morning, Tejasvi. Good morning, Karthik. Only 4 students have revised the notes, right? So this can create problem, beta. This can definitely create problem. The things in the chemistry are volatile. Yes, I can see more name. Sasank also has revised. In chemistry, things are not difficult. You need a repetitive revision. You need to revise it again and again, right? These are not very deep concepts. If you revise them, you will understand them for sure. You need to revise again and again. Yes, so I am asking again, how many of you have revised the notes? I have got few responses. Apart from that, if any one of you have revised the notes, please tell me. Raise your hand. I just want to see your hands. Yes, Tejasvi has also. Okay, fine. You need to inculcate this. Yeah, so Swathi. Yes, yes, yes. Before coming to the class or in between the break, you need to revise the notes. It will take barely 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, right? You just need to revise the notes because it is very fresh. It won't take much time. Okay, okay, okay. You need to revise all the things which have been covered till last class, right? That will help you in long term. You need to inculcate that habit. You need to practice again and again. Okay, 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 guys. So I'm just giving some question. Just tell me the valency factor, right? Question: calculate the valency factor for the following. Yes, these are 6 questions. You solve them. I will write some more. Just try to solve them. Good morning, beta Mansa. Good morning. Try to solve. First, you need to identify the element which is undergoing the change in oxidation number, right? Solve them, beta. I'm writing some other as well. A very good question. Eighth. You are having 2 minutes more. If you want more, tell me. Yes. So time is over. 30 seconds more. Fine. Fine. Okay. Great. So just focus here. If you see, there are two elements, two atoms per mole. Okay. You just see the change in oxidation number 0. So this will be 2, 0 minus of 1. So the valency vector in this case will be 2. Do not forget to multiply this by 2. This is very important. I am telling again and again. In this case, sulfur, only sulfur is undergoing, nothing, no information is given about PV. So do not worry about PV. Such questions are given and they are giving you nothing about PV or some other element. Do not worry about that. You do not need to balance. You can ask me where this O came from, where from this O came, right? Also do not worry, these are not balanced reaction. The given reactions, you just see the change in oxidation number. Here the valency vector will be equal to, it is -2. With metal, it is with metal. So you need to identify the metal and non-metal. If non-metals are generally, if non-metals are present with metals, then it is expected to see the minimum oxidation number of non-metals, right? If there is any compound of metal and non-metal only, no other thing, so you will see these will be in their minimum oxidation number. Non-metals will be there. They will, metals have tendency to donate the electron and non-metals have tendency to accept the electron, right? So they are working for each other, right? So considering that, if you see it is +6, if anyone is having any doubt, so I can write x 4 into -2 should be equal to -2 total charge. If you solve this, then it will become 6. So it is nothing but 6 minus sorry, so it will become 8. So valency vector in this case is 8. If you are having any doubt, you can raise your hand. Till now, if you have any doubt, you can raise your hand. I will re-explain. No. Okay, fine. About this third one, if you want to calculate, again, potassium is 1, Mn we do not know, oxygen is -2, so it 0. And it is a very famous compound. It's a very famous compound. Explain again which one, beta. Tell me which one do you want to explain me? Second. Okay. So in this case, you should know this is sulfide. I have already told you, whenever sulfide is there, it will be in its minimum oxidation state, that is -2. For sulfur, it belongs to oxygen family. So it will be having -2, and it will be having 6. You can easily solve x plus 4. Oxygen generally have -2 is equal to -2. So you just see the change in oxidation number, right? Here Mn, if you see Mn, so it will become +1, x 4 minus 2 is equal to 0. Okay, so it is nothing but 7. It's a very famous compound, potassium permanganate, right? Sir, S is only 1. That is why we should multiply by only 1. Yes, sir. Yes, beta. Yes, Ashwant. Yeah, that is absolutely right. This is whatever we are calculating valency factor, it is per molecule. So if there is an atom which is undergoing change in oxidation number, if they are more than 1, you need to multiply by that number, which we have done in the first case, right? So please revise notes. I am telling this again and again, and I have already taken some examples, so you will again have that concept. right? In this case +7, and it is nothing but, if you check, if you calculate, just a second, in this case it will be, yes, tell me, in the third one it will be +7 and +6. Okay, +7 and +6. If you calculate, the answer will be only 1. So you can see in basic medium, KMnO4 converts into MnO4 minus 2. Answer 1. Yes, great. That is, answer is 1. Yes, just a second. So it will be 1 in third. The answer will be 1 in third. The fourth one is interesting. Okay, fourth one is interesting. I have already given you the balance. In this case, the fourth one, in which we are seeing that one element is converted into more than one. One compound is converted into more than one compound having the same element. So you just need to check the total change in oxidation number. There are two atoms which are going into Mn+4 and one is going into Mn+2, right? So you can check total. So I will write it. Just a second. Yes. So for third one, it is nothing but valency factor is equal to 7 minus 6, that is 1, right? That is okay, 1. For this thing, you can see for valency factor, 7, 2 moles of +7 wala is changing into 4, and only 1 is changing into 2. So the total change is, if you see, it is 6 and 5, that is 11. But to calculate this thing, if you have remember, we need to calculate per molecule, and there are 3 molecules. So to calculate per molecule, you need to divide by 3. So this should be divided by 3. The answer will be 11 by 3. Just check it again, beta. Tell me, I will explain it again. Raise your hand if you are having doubt. Or just first try to understand by yourself. Vani, just first try to understand. Karthik, Vani, Deepak, try to, I have written the solution. Try to comprehend by yourself. Or look at the solution and try to understand by yourself what is happening. Why we have divided by 3? There can be one question. Why we have divided by 3? It is because there were 3 moles. We need to calculate valency factor per mole. So 3 moles, if you see with the balance of reaction, I am getting that 2 moles are converted into +4. So change in oxidation number for 2 mole is 7 minus 4 into 2. And 1 mole is converted into Mn+2. So the change in oxidation number is 5. But there are 3 moles. These total change in electron or oxidation number is brought by three molecules of the reactant. We need to calculate always with the 1. So you need to divide it by total number of molecules present in the total number of molecules. Okay. So you need to divide by 3 because it was, yes, tell me. Fine, fine. Okay, great. Bagundi. Ah, just a second. Right? Yes, yes. So, yes. Okay, clear, understood. Fine. You revise the notes. I have taken 2 more examples in your previous class. Now, this is also very important. This is also important. In this case, if you see, sorry, copper, here it is in +1. Here it is in 0. And sulfur in -2. And here it is in +6. Right? So just a second, I am writing this copper +2. Okay, I have written it by mistake. It is copper +2 and sulfur +6. So it's a simple example in which oxidation number of more than one element is either increasing or decreasing. It's a case in which more than one atom of the given compound is either increasing its oxidation number or decreasing. Either both of the atom or more than one atom, their oxidation number is increasing. So in this case also, you need to do nothing. Just calculate total change in oxidation number per molecule. Total change, there are 2 copper atoms, so 2 minus 1, and for 1 sulfur atom 6 minus of minus 2. So if you see, it is nothing but how much? 10. This example we have already done. You see on the answer. Did you get it? Tell me. Again, if you are having doubt, please tell me. Yes, clear. Total change. But this is the case in which both the atom are going in the same direction. Both atoms are going in the same direction. Right? This is not an example of redox. It is also redox, but in this case, only either oxidation or reduction. So you just need to check the total change in oxidation number per molecule. The next one is, it is famous disproportionation. Disproportionation. So in this case, to solve this, you need to write the balance. This is H2O2, or write 2 molecules. You can solve this like this. H2O2, or this is also a case in which you can remember the result. So I have told you, in this case, it is here if you see -1 and this is -2. Here if you see -1 and this is 0. So valency factor as oxidizing agent, it is 2. Valency factor as reducing agent is also 2. This is famous example I have explained in the previous class, so I will not take in detail. But the valency factor of total can be calculated by valency factor of oxidizing agent plus valency factor of reducing agent. This was the formula for disproportionation reaction. So answer for this case will become, valency factor will become 1. Total valency factor will become 1. As oxidizing agent 2, as reducing agent is also 2 for this case. This is not necessary in all the disproportionation reaction. This is not you are not going to have same case, that valency factor for oxidizing as well as reducing is numerically same. For H2O2 it is so. Okay, fine. So this is one of the important example, and important compound P4. If you see P4, this is also example. This you anyone? I am just waiting for your response. What will be the answer for 7th? Quickly tell me. What will be the answer for 7th? No, beta. Ashwant, you have done right, but in the opposite direction. See, when you are having something in front, then you need to divide. This is one molecule, beta. This is total one molecule. This is one molecule. This is not. This is one molecule. These are 3 molecules. This is the difference. These are 3 molecules and this is one molecule. In one molecule, there are 4 atoms. So you need to identify the difference. In this is one molecule which is having 2 atoms. Right? So you need to understand when you need to divide and when you need to multiply. So that is right, that it is having 0 and it is having 5. So change in oxidation number will be, valency factor will be 5 minus 0, but there are 4 atoms, so you need to multiply. So answer will be 20. It is similar to first question. It is similar, very similar to first question. Yes, one, you need to multiply by 4 because there are 4 atoms per molecule. So one phosphorus is changing from 0 to 5. So there are 4 atoms in one molecule. In one molecule, we remember, if there are more than one molecule, then you need to divide. But if there are only one molecule having more than 1 atoms, then you need to multiply. That's okay, beta. You need to practice this very much. This is very much similar to the first question. It was I2 and this is P4. So anyone having doubt till now, tell me please quickly. I will explain any one of First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. Any doubt? Quickly. No, great. Vagundi. Good. Keep revising. Okay, now for this thing, FeCr2O4. In this case, if you see Fe plus 2, okay, you need to remember certain things, beta. Cr2O4, it is plus 3, beta. Here, if you see, it is plus 6. Here, if you see, this is Cr2O4 chromitor. I think this is chromitor minus 2. So if you see, this is having nothing. So chromium will be having 4, 8 plus 3. So chromium having plus 3. Oxygen is minus 2, and in the total full reaction, oxygen is having minus 2. So you see, this is also increasing. This is also increasing. This will explain. This will clear your all doubts. See, only one Fe atom, but 2 chromium atom. So how will you solve? You will solve. How will you solve? Only one atom of valency factor. There is only one molecule, so you do not need to divide. There is only one molecule, but one Fe, 1 into 3 minus 2. Only one. See, just focus on the reactant side. Plus chromium. There are 2 chromium which are undergoing plus 3 to plus 6. So 2 into 6 minus 3. So the answer will become 7. The answer is 7. Again, you can raise your hand if you are having any doubt. Please raise your hand. Okay, so no doubt. Okay, you can face some problem initially that why you have taken Fe plus 2, but with the time you will understand. Yeah, fine. You can raise hand if you have any doubt. This is, find out for this thing. This is also good question, beta. In this case also you need to identify this is plus 2. This is also plus 2. This is minus 2. Whenever sulfur is present with metals, it will be having minus 2, minimum oxidation state. So minimum for sulfur is minus 2. So this is going into this. Fe is going into Fe plus 3, and sulfur is going into plus 4. Solve first 10th one. Solve first 10th one. Solve first 10th one, beta. 10th is easy. You will find in the 10th, if you see 10th, this is plus 2, this is minus 2, so plus 4, and it is plus 3. So your valency factor will become 3 minus 2, only one atom of Fe. So 3 minus 2 plus 4 minus of 2. So it will become 1 and 8, that is 9. Okay. So 10th one is simple. Not beta, you have, okay. Yes, that is 7. That is 7 only. Yeah, Yashwant, that is right. Yes. Ravi, that is correct. Absolutely correct. This will be 7. Again 7. 7. Absolutely right. Yes, Santosh. 7. Great. This is 7. In this case, if something is decreasing and something is increasing, if you remember, I have told you if one element is decreasing and another element is increasing. This we have learned through the one example, that if one of the element of salt is decreasing, another is increasing. It means oxidation and reduction is taking place in the same thing, right? Mm, two. I think I have written something little bit of ninth. 1, 6, 12, 13. Just a second. Ninth is 1 plus no beta, because here it is not only increasing, it is also decreasing for one thing. Yes, one. Again it is -1, then also 5. Just a second. I think there is something, one thing is missing in this ninth one. Oh, copper plus decreasing, it is decreasing. Okay, we will take some other time this thing, right? Ninth one. Okay. For now, you can just, I am not getting actually, right? So remaining after apart from ninth, if you are having any doubt in other, please tell me. You need to practice this, right? To how to calculate a valency factor. Because if you know the valence factor, then only you can calculate equivalent weight. -10. Copper -2. This is 0. Yes, I think it is because of, yes, tell me. No, sir. Okay, fine. It's a good compound actually. Okay, I will take. Okay, we will discuss it. Just remember. Okay, so now coming to the next thing, that is normality. You need to study normality. So we have already studied molarity, right? We have already studied molarity, right? So on the similar lines, it is also defined, and it is nothing but it is defined as number of equivalents of solute, number of equivalent of solute present in 100 ml of solution, right? Denoted by capital N. So if you see, it is nothing but equivalents of solute upon volume of solution in liter, or you can write equivalent is written like this: EQ of solute upon volume of solution. If it is given in ml, you need to multiply by 1000. This is very basic thing. Now your job is how to calculate equivalent. So equivalents are nothing, given weight of solute, divided by equivalent weight. That is E, right? This is how you will calculate equivalent. And we have already find out how to calculate equivalent weight. E can be calculated as molar mass of substance, or salt or compound divided by its valency factor, right? This we have already studied. So if something is given, you can easily calculate the normality. Okay. Yes. DS Santosh, I think ninth one. I will explain the ninth one. Yashwant and you all. Just look at this, whatever I have written. Just check that you have got the concept of normality or not. Okay, fine. Okay, so you have understood equivalent upon volume of solution is normality, given weight of solute upon equivalent weight, right? Also I am writing molarity, right? I am also writing molarity just to yes, molarity was, if you remember, molarity was nothing but moles of solute upon volume of solution in ml into 1000. This was molarity. Also moles was represented by n, and they were nothing but given weight upon molar mass. So you can easily understand that both things are very much similar. The only difference is coming due to valency factor. If valency factor becomes 1, it cannot be 0. If valency factor becomes 1, then normality molarity will become same, equivalent moles will become same, equivalent weight and molar mass will become same. So I'm just writing some more relation. Normality, if you see, normality is nothing but molarity into n factor or valency factor. This is your one formula. Then equivalent weight, I have already told you equivalent weight. Equivalents, they are nothing but moles into valency factor. This is again important. If you multiply by valency factor, then you can get normality and equivalent, right? So I'm writing some question, just tell me. If 15.8 gram of KMnO4 dissolved in 200 ml of dissolve to prepare 200 ml of acidic solution in acidic medium. Calculate normality. Okay, take your time and just tell me the answer. Just take your time. If you want to know, the weight of potassium is 39, Mn is nothing but 55, and oxygen is 16. That is too much, I think. Okay, I think. Okay, so first thing is that you should know the valency factor. In acidic medium, the valency factor of KMnO4, I have already given you. In acidic medium, its valency factor is 2. Oh, sorry, 5. In neutral medium, it goes into MnO2 or Mn plus 4. Its valency factor is nothing but 3. Okay, in neutral or slightly basic if they have given, right? In both case it will be, but if it is basic, in basic medium, it goes into Mn plus 6. So its valency factor is 1. You need to remember this. Basic medium. So this is you need to utilize this thing. 5. Now if you calculate equivalents, before that you need to calculate normality is given. Normality you need to calculate by equivalent upon volume into 1000. This is what you want to calculate. But before that, E will be molar mass. If you calculate molar mass, will become 158, or N factor, valency factor is 5. This is how you will calculate. The equivalent weight will be 158 by 5. So equivalent will become given weight, that is 15.8 upon 158 into 5. That is 1 by 5. Sorry, 1 by 2. Now you can easily solve it. So normality will become equivalent are 0.5 into 1000 divided by volume is how much? 200. If you see 5, it will become 2.5. This is your answer. Tell me if I have done something wrong. Quickly check at the look at the solution. Yes, clear sir, please explain again. Beta, first thing which was required for you is that valency factor of KMnO4 in basic medium, in acidic medium, sorry. So its valency factor is 5. So the formula of normality is equivalent upon volume. But to calculate equivalent, you need to know the equivalent weight. So the equivalent weight of KMnO4 is 158. If you calculate it, its equivalent weight is 158. If you know the equivalent weight can be known by this formula: molar mass divided by valency factor. So its molar mass is 158 and valency factor is 5. So the equivalent, if you know the formula of equivalent, then equivalent can be calculated like this: given weight upon equivalent weight. So I have using that formula, I have written it. It will come as 1 by 2. Now put into the formula. That's it. Where you are having any doubt? Vani, tell me. At which part you are having doubt? Okay, fine. So in this case, this thing was expected from you to remember, right? For KMnO4 potassium permanganate, you should remember this: potassium permanganate, right? Okay, fine. Question: calculate the normality. I want you to be expert in all this. First, 0.1 molar HCl. Second, 0.05 molar NaOH. Third, 0.25 molar H2SO4. Fourth, 0.001 molar H3PO4. Fifth, 0.002 molar H3PO2. Sixth, 0.001 molar H3PO2. 3. This is 3. This is 2. Yes, tell me. Tell me. This is all very important. Just remember, if molarity is given, how to calculate normality. There was formula. If molarity is given, you can calculate normality just by multiplying the valency factor. This is expected to you. Yes, I am waiting. Yes. Yes, yes. You need to increase your speed. Okay. So the first one, the molarity is given. So normality will become 0.1. The valency factor of any acid, it is nothing but number of replaceable H plus. So it is having only one. So 0.1 normal. This is the answer for this thing. 0.05. Again, for base, this is base, this is acid, this is a case of acid, this is a case of base. So for base, number of replaceable OH minus, here it is also. So this is important, beta. These are two chemical compounds which will be used again and again, so you should at least have knowledge about these things. H2SO4, this is also acid, 0.25. Its name is sulfuric acid. Into 2, it is having 2H plus. It can donate 2. So I have already told you it can donate 2, right? It can donate 2, so it will have 0.5 normal. Is that okay? Now these are 3 very good examples. I have already told you to memorize all this. So this is N, this is phosphoric acid beta. So it is a tribasic acid. This is a tribasic, right? So it will have 0.003 normality. This thing will have 0.002. This is dibasic beta. This is dibasic. Only two hydrogens of this are acidic. Dibasic. This is monobasic. In the case of acids of phosphorus, you need to be bit aware. Okay, you need to keep that in mind, that phosphoric acid, it is a tribasic, then phosphorus, it is only dibasic, then hypophosphorus, this is hypophosphorus. This is phosphorus. So its N factor is nothing but 0.04 normal, and for the last one 0.01 into 1, so it will have 0.001 normal. Okay, just quickly tell me if you are having any doubt. You can raise your hand quickly. Raise your hand and tell me. Yeah, great. What others? Ashish, Yashwant, Padamkant, Ganesh, Jasmine, Praveen, Krishna, Kevin. Yes, Hanok. Today you are silent. So you are having no doubt, right? Great. Varnika. Okay. Sriya, Karthik. Thanks for your response. So you need to remember these thing, at least this thing. Okay. This is a they will ask you question from here. Then 7th, CH3COH, acetic acid. In this case also, if it is given, let's say it is given 0.5 molar, right? So it is a monobasic acid. It's a only monobasic acid, so 0.5 molar into 1, its molarity and normality is same. If something is having only one N factor, its molarity and normality is same. Okay, Deepak, great. Okay, similarly, there is another example, that is NH4OH, 0.2 molar NH4OH. These are some common example which you can see again and again. So this is 0.2 into 1 normal. So in this case, only one OH minus, it is acid, this is acid, and this is base. Okay. So is it okay, beta? Is it okay? Will you able to calculate the molarity and normality? Sometimes they will give you normality. Okay. So I am discussing only one thing. Law of equivalence. Next very important thing is law of equivalence. If we have understood the concept of molarity and normality, then this is the another very important concept. Okay, this will help you to solve questions in one line, or okay. So it says if you see, I am explaining with this reaction, N2 plus 3H2 and 2NH3. So with the mole concept, if you want to solve using mole concept, you require balanced reaction. If you want to solve this, you require balanced reaction. Okay, in this case it says that 1 mole of nitrogen requires 3 mole of hydrogen to produce 2 mole of ammonia. You can see all of them are not same with the mole concept, as well as you require balancing of reaction. This was the requirement of mole concept. But if you want to use the equivalent concept, it is very beautiful concept. It says one equivalent of nitrogen is required to react with one equivalent of hydrogen, and it will produce one equivalent of ammonia. This is why this law of equivalence is very useful. It says if you take one equivalent of reactant, then it will produce one equivalent of product. Again, if you require, there are two reactants, then both of them will be required in same equivalent. If you require one equivalent of one reactant, then the requirement of other reactant will also be one equivalent. Did you get it? That is why it is very important. You do not require balancing of reaction. Right? Did you get it? It says, law says, one equivalent of any element combined with one equivalent of any other. Very beautiful. Okay, simplest thing. It has simplified for you, right? That one equivalent of anything will give you one equivalent of another thing. In a chemical reaction, equivalent and milli-equivalent of reactants, equivalent and milli-equivalent of reactants will be equal equivalent and milli-equivalent of products. You see here with this example, milli-equivalent of A will be equal to milli-equivalent of B will be equal to milli-equivalent of M. If even the reaction was not balanced, then also you can solve it, right? What is milli-equivalent? Milli-equivalent is nothing but 10 raised to minus 3 equivalent. I have already told you that milli means 10 raised to minus 3, right? Similarly, millimoles, what is millimoles? 10 raised to minus 3 moles. Did you get it? Did you get it? Quickly raise your hand. If some reaction is given, then you can also solve that by using this method. If any reaction is given, you can solve that method using this law of equivalence also, right? You have now it is your upgraded version. You can also solve with one method, extra one method you have learned. If some reaction is given, if it is not balanced, then also you can calculate its equivalent weight and all other things by using this law of equivalence, right? So for any acid base reaction, generally for any acid base reaction, milli equivalent of acid will be equal to milli equivalent of base, right? And this is we are taking for reacted, milli equivalent of acid reacted. So I am writing completely. Milli equivalent of acid reacted right, must be equal to milli equivalent of base reacted. This will solve your problem for acid base reaction. And we have already solved that normality is nothing but equivalent upon volume in ml in 2000. So if you see, equivalent becomes n into vml by 1000. So it is nothing but, if you solve, then just a second. Yes. Okay. So equivalent will become this, or you can also write milli equivalent are equal to normality into volume in ml. Normality into volume in ml. So if n and b is given, so you can write here. Okay, I am giving one question. Solve this. How much volume of 0.5 molar NaOH are required to completely neutralize 0.8 molar of H2SO4. Very important question, beta. Just focus here. Very important. Okay, if you want to solve this, we know this thing, milli equivalent of acid should be equal to, so milli equivalent can be calculated by normality into volume. So normality into volume of acid should be equal to normality into volume of base. That's it, using the law of equivalence. Now normality is nothing but molarity into valency factor into volume of acid should be equal to molarity into valency factor into volume of base. Is that okay? If you okay, if you have written this, then your problem is solved. Molarity is given for acid, it is given 0.8. If you see, its valency factor is nothing but 2. So its valency factor is 2. Sorry, you do not need to write the reaction. The reaction is not required to be written in this case. You can solve it directly. Volume they have asked. Now in this case, molarity of base is 0.5. Also you can write here, neutralize, volume of H2SO4 is given, right? Okay, 400 ml. See? So it's, you need to calculate the valency factor of NaOH is nothing but 1. Valency factor is 1. Its volume is, you need to calculate volume of base, and this volume is already given. This volume is given, that is 400 ml. You just solve it. Volume of base is nothing but required 0.8 into 2 into 400 upon 0.5. That's it. You can easily solve it. Okay, this is 80, 60, 160 and 8, 1440 ml. No, sorry, 1260 ml. Yeah, this is your answer. Tell me if you have got it. Just quickly, 1280 ml, right? So you can use it directly, right? You do not need to write the equation. So I think time is over. Okay, so I am just concluding the class. Okay, in the next class we will take some more example related to normality, and then we will move towards the titration, another concept, that is titration. Okay, so thank you so much. I will share the notes. Okay guys, bye bye bye. Okay beta, bye bye. Yes, okay, bye. Yeah, most welcome. Yes, Chaitanya, most welcome. Okay guys, bye bye bye.